Good evening. Startling revelations in the Uttar Pradesh police investigations into the violence in Bareilly last week. So far, 81 people have been taken into custody, including the alleged mastermind, a prominent Muslim leader who's reported to have planned this violence, including, according to the police, targeting of police personnel to create wider unrest and fuel tensions, not just in the state, but at a wider scale. A report accessed by India Today indicates that the violence was some kind of a show of strength. Several rounds of ammunition, remains of Molotov cocktail, that's petrol bombs, knives, sticks and stones have also been recovered. There have been two half encounters earlier today. Police claim there is a statement by Maulana Tauqir Raza, says target policemen even if you must. This is to create unrest. This is a show of strength. I'm Gaurav Sawant. We get you all details, but first we bring you this report.
Bareilly violence, scripted mayhem. Exposed conspiracy to create chaos. Maulana's call disrupt city even if cops killed. Chief Minister Yogi warns conspirators of doom.
कुछ लोग रहते भारत में हैं, लेकिन गजवा ये हिंद का नारा लेकर के भारत के अंदर राष्ट्र विरोधी गतिविधियों को बढ़ावा देने का कुत्सित कार्य कर रहे हैं.
80+ arrests, bulldozers rolling. Sinister plot to destabilize India. That is a big focus on India First.
12 bore cartridges, 315 bore cartridges, country-made weapons, knives, Molotov cocktails or petrol bomb remains, sticks and stones have been recovered by the Uttar Pradesh police after the deadly violence in Bareilly last week. Two half encounters. What does half encounter mean? It means encounters that led to the suspects being shot in the leg have resulted in two suspects or two suspected rioters being arrested earlier today. So far, 81 suspected rioters have been taken into custody, including the alleged mastermind. Several people from Bihar and Bengal who were in Bareilly are also in custody. The police are now investigating a wider conspiracy. India Today's Arvind Ojha brings you our top story.
Bareilly violence was no accident. India Today has uncovered that a sinister conspiracy was hatched as the UP police probe unravels the entire plot. Sources say the investigation has unmasked Maulana Tauqir Raza Khan's close aide Nadeem as the key mastermind. Sources say on September 25th, an appeal was issued on the Ittihad-e-milat Council's letterhead claiming the government had denied permission for prayers at Islamia inter-college grounds. This set the stage for the riots. According to sources, it was Nadeem who circulated this appeal on the IMC's official WhatsApp group. He then allegedly claimed the letterhead was fake, calling it a forged attempt to sabotage prayers. The message, sent just one day before the violence, set in motion the chain of events. On September 26th, Bareilly erupted. The police FIR makes chilling disclosures. Tauqir Raza allegedly told followers to disturb the city's atmosphere, even if it means killing policemen. He allegedly asked mobs to chant beheading threats for disobeying the Prophet. Petrol bombs were hurled. Illegal weapons were fired. Policemen were attacked with batons, sharp weapons. So far, over 80 arrests have been made in just 5 days. 3 alleged rioters have been nabbed in encounters. Bulldozers are rolling, and many arrested are now apologizing with folded hands, saying they were misled by Tauqir Raza.
किसने भेजा था आपको?
उनका क्या नाम? शकील ने।
शकील ने।
हाँ।
कहाँ रहते हैं शकील?
शाहजहानपुर।
क्या कहा था?
जाओ झगड़ा करो जाके।
किस में, रैली में?
हाँ, रैली में।
बरेली पुलिस के द्वारा लगातार बलवाइयों की गिरफ्तारी का दौर जारी है और आज भी बरेली पुलिस ने गिरफ्तारी की है। 17 आरोपियों को गिरफ्तार किया गया है। टोटल 72 लोग गिरफ्तार किए गए। ये देखिए, ये लोग गिरफ्तार किए गए हैं। इसमें एक जो ताजिम था वो गो तस्कर भी था, उसके ऊपर एक FIR दर्ज हुई थी, जो 10 FIR हैं बलवे की।
The probe also reveals the role of outsiders. People from Bihar and West Bengal were allegedly brought in to pelt stones.
हम लोगों का मेन फोकस उन लोगों के ऊपर है जिन्होंने इस पूरे प्रोटेस्ट को ऑर्गेनाइज करने में और जो वहां पे भीड़ एकत्र हुई उसको एग्रेसिव बनाने में जिनकी अहम भूमिका थी, उसके संबंध में हम लोग इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रहे हैं। जो लोग जेल गए हैं उसमें से कुछ लोग पश्चिम बंगाल और बिहार के रहने वाले हैं। समुद्र 3 लोग ऐसे हैं जो अन्य प्रदेशों के रहने वाले हैं।
From WhatsApp messages to petrol bombs, India Today's investigation shows Bareilly violence was not spontaneous. It was scripted mayhem. With Arvind Ojha and Santosh Sharma, Bureau Report, India Today.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today sounded a sharp warning, saying demographic change is now a big threat to India's social harmony, a bigger threat than even infiltration. Speaking at the centenary celebrations of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, Prime Minister Modi said, unity in diversity is the soul of India. But divisions of caste, language, regionalism and the extremist thinking, that's being fueled to weaken that soul of the nation. The Prime Minister stressed social equality must be India's greatest resolve, warning that economic dependence and demographic manipulation are conspiracies aimed at breaking the unity of our country. Calling it an issue tied to national security and future peace, Prime Minister Narendra Modi reminded that he'd already launched the demographic mission and he spoke of it from the ramparts of the Red Fort on Independence Day.
सामाजिक समरसता यानी वंचित को वरीयता देकर सामाजिक न्याय की स्थापना करना, देश की एकता को बढ़ाना। आज राष्ट्र के सामने ऐसे संकट खड़े हो रहे हैं जो हमारी एकता, हमारी संस्कृति और हमारी सुरक्षा पर सीधा प्रहार कर रहे हैं। अलगाववादी सोच, क्षेत्रवाद, कभी जाति, कभी भाषा को लेकर विवाद, कभी बाहरी शक्तियों द्वारा भड़काई गई विभाजनकारी प्रवृत्तियां, ये सब अनगिनत चुनौतियां हमारे सामने खड़ी है। भारत की आत्मा हमेशा विविधता में एकता ही रही है। अगर इस सूत्र को तोड़ा गया तो भारत की शक्ति भी कमजोर होगी और इसलिए हमें इस सूत्र को निरंतर जीना है, उसे मजबूती देनी है। साथियों, सामाजिक समरसता को आज डेमोग्राफी में बदलाव के षड्यंत्र से, घुसपैठियों से भी बड़ी चुनौती मिल रही है। यह हमारी आंतरिक सुरक्षा और भविष्य की शांति से भी जुड़ा हुआ प्रश्न है और इसलिए मैंने लाल किले से डेमोग्राफी मिशन की घोषणा की है। हमें इस चुनौती से सतर्क रहना है, इसका डटकर मुकाबला करना है।
Initial investigations by the Uttar Pradesh police indicates that the violence in Bareilly was pre-planned. A mob was assembled. They are now trying to get more details on why were there people from Bihar and Bengal, were they participating in these protests? Where did the weapons come from and the petrol bombs The statements that are being attributed to Maulana Tauqir Raza to fuel unrest as a show of strength are all now a part of investigations. Joining me on India First is Sharad Trivedi, spokesperson of the BJP in Uttar Pradesh. Faizan Kidwai represents the Samajwadi Party. Arvind Kumar Jain is former Director General of the Uttar Pradesh Police. Joins us on this special broadcast. Atikur Rahman is the respected Muslim scholar and researcher on Islamic studies. Joins us on the show. My first question is to India Today's Arvind Oja, who's been reporting the story very extensively. Arvind, इस बात का सबूत अभी तक क्या है कि ये जो पूरी हिंसा हुई ये एक सुनियोजित साजिश थी, that this violence was pre-planned? What is the evidence? इसके सबूत अभी तक क्या क्या है?
बिल्कुल गौरव, देखिए जो बरेली पुलिस की इन्वेस्टिगेशन है उसको हमने क्लोजली मॉनिटर भी किया और वहाँ के कुछ लोकल लोगों से बात हुई। प्रोटेस्ट होना था 26 सितंबर को। चूँकि पहले से इनपुट था, इंटेल इनपुट, इस वजह से बरेली पुलिस ने कई बार मौलाना तौकीर रजा से बातचीत की, उनको समझाने की कोशिश की और जो प्रोटेस्ट था उसको परमिशन नहीं दी गई क्योंकि इस तरह के इंटेल थे बरेली पुलिस को। 25 तारीख को एक लेटर हेड पर जो अपील है वो बरेली में सारे व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में वायरल होता है, जिसमें बताया जाता है कि इत्तिहाद-ए-मिल्लत काउंसिल के जो चीफ हैं तौकीर रजा, वो जुम्मे की जो नमाज है उसके बाद जो राष्ट्रपति है उनको एक मेमोरेंडम सौंपेंगे, एक ज्ञापन सौंपेंगे और उसके बाद सब कुछ शांति तरीके से होगा, किसी को भीड़ जुटाने की जरूरत नहीं है। अब उस लेटर को, उस अपील को इत्तिहाद-ए-मिल्लत काउंसिल के व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में डाला जाता है। जो व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप का वो पूरा स्क्रीनशॉट है वो भी इंडिया टुडे के पास है, उसमें डाला जाता है। उसमें जो तौकीर रजा का क्लोज एसोसिएट है नदीम खान, वो लिखता है कि ये लेटर फेक है, यानी शांति की जो अपील की गई थी वो लेटर फेक है। बड़ी से ज़्यादा संख्या में लोग जमा हो और प्रोटेस्ट करें। और उसके बाद फिर सभी ने देखा क्या हुआ, वहाँ पर बहुत बड़ी तादाद में भीड़ इकट्ठा हुई जो शहर की तरफ जाने के लिए तैयार हो रही थी। और चूंकि पहले से इंटेल था बरेली पुलिस के पास, इस वजह से रोका गया और जैसे ही रोका गया उसके बाद स्टोन पेल्टिंग, पेट्रोल बम, ये सब कुछ फेंका जाने लगा। अब इसके अलावा जो दूसरा एविडेंस है, जो बरेली पुलिस की एफआईआर है, वो ये कहती है, वो एफआईआर भी हमने एक्सेस किया, उस एफआईआर में ये लिखा हुआ है कि जब पुलिस ने भीड़ को रोकने की कोशिश की तो पुलिस की लाठियां छीनकर पुलिस वालों पर लाठी बरसाने लगे लोग। कुछ क्रिमिनल एलिमेंट्स भी वहां पर आए थे। क्रिमिनल एलिमेंट्स का एविडेंस अभी मैं अपनी बात पूरी करने के बाद देता हूं। क्रिमिनल एलिमेंट्स के लोग वहां उस भीड़ में शामिल थे। उसी भीड़ में से कुछ लोगों ने कहा कि तौकीर रजा ने कहा है आज शहर का माहौल खराब कर देना है, इसके लिए भले पुलिस वालों की हत्या क्यों न करनी पड़े। ये एफआईआर की में लिखा हुआ है।
That's a very big statement. So let's take this step by step. It's a very, very big statement, and especially when it's a part of the FIR. Mr. Jain, as a former top cop, what do you make of the information that's in public domain, and especially as part of the FIR so far? Target policemen, even if it means, create more unrest in the area.
I don't doubt it. I have been SP city of Bareilly.
Yes.
I had 2 postings at Bareilly. Bareilly is known as Bareilly Sharif. Muslims, they start the festivals of Hindus, and Hindus start the festivals of Muslims. There was so much of unity in that city. Now this person has been disturbing. After every 2-3 months, he threatens, he blackmails. This time also, people talk to him that Hindu festivals are going on. The incident is of Bara Wafat. It has passed long back of Kanpur. So don't try to do this. Don't collect the crowd. But he didn't listen. And Nadeem and others who are close to this man, very, very close, they all instigated, and criminals had assembled. 2 criminals have been arrested in an encounter from, they belong to Shahjahanpur, and country-made pistols, etc. They have been recovered. They have 16, 17, 18 cases against him, including Gangsters Act. So naturally, a lot of effort had gone in to collect all these people from neighboring districts, from neighboring states, and his plan was to disturb the festivals of Hindus in Bareilly, and timely action was taken by police. Several policemen have been injured, firing took place in that crowd. This is not done. He was requested that Hindu festivals are going on. I would like to quote Firangi Mahali of Lucknow. He said, "Don't do all this. Hindu festivals are going on. Let us not behave in this fashion."
Yes.
But even then, all this was done to disturb the communal peace of a very peaceful city.
No, and was this a part of a wider conspiracy, Faizan Kidwai? That would be a cause for very grave concern. Police claim Maulana Tauqir Raza used words to the effect, "Come in numbers," or it's being attributed to Maulana Tauqir Raza. It's a show of strength of people of a particular religion, target policemen, create unrest. What do you make of what the police FIR says, sir?
Good evening, Gaurav. Good evening to you and to the fellow panelists. See, Gaurav, Samajwadi Party believes that if there is somebody who's inciting riots and violence, that person should be booked, that person should face the consequences and be held accountable by the law. Either that person is Tauqir Raza or Yati Narsinghanand or the terrorists of Dharam Sansad who openly called for genocide of Muslims. That's a separate issue that those people have not been booked. Their houses have not been bulldozed so far. And as far as Mr. Adityanath is concerned and the UP police, I'm sure, Gaurav, you know that the Honorable Supreme Court had reprimanded the UP police on several counts for its lackadaisical approach and failure to maintain law and order in Uttar Pradesh. The Honorable Courts went ahead to the extent and said that UP police is entering a dangerous zone. Tell your DGP to mend his ways, otherwise we'll come up with such a judgment that he'll remember for the rest of his life. So, UP police is not functioning the way it should. If you remember, there was violence in Bareilly some time back, and there was a BJP MLA, his name is Sureshwar Singh. He lodged an FIR against 7 BJP people. They were from Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha, which is a Bharatiya Janata Party. He made the claim that these people were trying to kill his son and put the blame on Muslims so that there is more communal hatred. So this is the strategy of Bharatiya Janata Party. Mr. Adityanath, who was in Ramayan Mela recently.
Sharath Trivedi wants to respond. Sharath Trivedi wants to respond. I intervened on the aspect of the Prime Minister because dragging his name based on what somebody may claim on something that's happening in Bareilly. Okay, Sharath Trivedi wants to respond because Mr. Trivedi, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, is being accused of targeting people who follow a particular religion and using language that has been described as discriminatory to instill fear in people of a particular community. Respond to that statement and to the statement that's just been made, sir.
No, we have had encounters of Vijay Mishra, Vikas Dubey. We have had encounters of Ankit Jat, Akash Gujar, and I don't think they have converted to any other religion other than Hinduism. I am going to stick to the facts in this particular case. This man, Tauqir Raza, is the great-grandson of Ahmad Raza Khan, who is the founder of the Bareilly sect of Islam. And he wanted, and this sect is known to have some extreme views on Islam. And this man tried to gang up with the Deobandis, with another sect of Islam, to create some kind of trouble in 2016. He was arrested in 2010 for the same reasons why he's been arrested today for getting into the riot-like situation. At that time, the BSP government was there. He has been part of every outfit other than BJP. He was part of the Congress in 2009. He was part of the Samajwadi Party in 2012. He was part of the BSP in 2014. So he has been constantly trying to find moorings. He has got his own political party, and he is being part of this Bareilly sect. He has got a large following, and he is constantly trying to create some kind of trouble out there to get the leadership of his own community. And he has had a pushback of his own community itself in 2016.
No, so but respond to the fact that the Samajwadi Party says the action is discriminatory. According to the Samajwadi Party, even the Prime Minister is alleged to have made hate speeches.
I would like my friend to Google that there's one man, Mishri Chand Gupta. He was a senior member of BJP in Bhopal. I can go rattle off a lot more names. He had a hotel 5-story tall, which was made illegally, and we had dynamited that hotel. Even bulldozer was not used. So we cannot be called discriminatory. We had 37% of the
Gaurav, give me time to rebut, please.
the social benefits, which itself is only 18% of the entire population. Here we are
Gaurav, give
dealing
me
with a
time to rebut,
criminal
please,
situation,
please.
a criminal gang operating,
Sure.
masquerading as a leader of this community. He created this problem, and his gangster Nadeem was operating for him, created WhatsApp groups the 2 days before, and this whole thing was pre-planned, as your reporters already said. Their Molotov cocktails were brought, country-made guns were brought, knives were brought, machetes were brought, and swords were brought. We have already made arrests. We have already had encounters. The thing, the conspiracies unveiling it.
Okay.
It's a
Before
still
I bring
ongoing
in-
situation.
before I bring
The
in,
conspiracies
Atikur
still,
Rahman.
we're trying to unveil the whole conspiracy.
Okay, before I bring in Atikur Rahman, Faizan quickly wants to respond.
Yes,
Go on,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
But my request
Yes,
is
sir.
stay on the topic. Stay on the topic
will
of
stay on the
creating
topic,
unrest
sir.
in Bareilly
Yes,
and the fire
yes,
that could
I
spread
will, I will.
nationwide.
Right. The fire which could spread nationwide, it will spread from Uttar Pradesh because we have a very mischievous chief minister here. He's Mr. Adityanath. When you cut me in between, I was about to give this information to your viewers that during Ramayana Mela, this gentleman, while addressing people, he says, those who do not revere Lord Ram and Mata Janki, consider them your enemy. So he's instilling this fears in Hindus against the minorities. And there's this report of Vaya which says in Uttar Pradesh, 75% of bulldozer actions happen against Muslims. Indian Express report says between 2020 and 2022, majority of the demolitions that happened were of Muslim 105 properties. An investigation by Hindu says in UP,
Okay, you're still not answering the question about Tauqir Raza,
targeted.
the actions in Bareilly. But you're not answering my question. I've asked you a very specific question. You know, Faizan, नाम पूछ रहा हूँ, आप गाड़ी का नंबर बता रहे हैं. You know, you're just diverting and deflecting. But I will get since you've raised an issue, you are saying Muslims are being targeted. You're saying Muslims are being targeted.
Sir,
I'll
I'm
get
saying
Sharath
if
Trivedi to
Tauqir
respond
Raza
to that.
responsible, put him behind bars. Who's stopping him? Put him behind bars. Who's stopping
We have
him?
done it. We have already done it. We have put him behind bars. He's not going to come out
Then
any
it's okay.
soon.
But this gentleman, this chief
This
minister,
wider
unfortunately,
conspiracy
of
is
ours,
what I'm
is
getting
the
at.
person who
You know, the
creates
BJP and the
chaos.
Samajwadi Party, gentlemen, you may indulge in politics, but it's our country that stands to suffer. And Atikur Rahman, the plan, the police says, was to start a wider riot, create unrest in the city. There are those who are saying this could spread to other parts of the state. And especially when it comes to certain people who say it's all happening in the name of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. That should worry every Indian, sir. If this is, as the Haryana Minister Anil Vij puts it, a toolkit.
Gaurav, look at the vicious cycle of communalism in this country and especially in Uttar Pradesh. Both Mr. Jain and Mr. Sharath Trivedi are pointing out that this person is a habitual offender. And I would like to ask if he is a habitual offender.
Which person? You mean Tauqir Raza?
Yes, Tauqir Raza. Now, in the presence of such a mighty Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, why is he being, allowed to do this every time? And can you believe, Gaurav, so soon the community and entire, people get Molotov cocktails and arms in their hands? How is that possible? And that is why I say that this person is in hand in glove with the UP Chief Minister, and they want to spread this violence just to nail the larger Muslim community and the Muslim cause. And what is the Muslim cause? The Muslim cause is only constitutionalism, mind you. We are not going to support any violence, and this person should be behind bars, and action should be taken with all the rioters, not the community members who are very, very innocent people tried deliberately by BJP and RSS along with Tauqir Raza.
Sharath Trivedi, you want to quickly respond to that? That Tauqir Raza and the kind of narrative he was trying to spread feeds into something that would only benefit the BJP. That's a point that even the Samajwadi Party makes. Anyone guilty, take action. But the kind of language that is being used is to fuel unrest, sir.
What my friend is saying, that in every incident we should organize it in such a manner that there are 3,000 castes, subcastes, religious groups, so we should arrest 3,000 people for every crime which is committed, no matter which community is committing it. It is a targeted approach. If somebody has done it, if this Hadith, the leader of this group has done it, then he's going to be targeted. His house is going to be bulldozed. Nobody said that we were communal when Vijay Mishra, Vikas Dubey's houses were bulldozed when he faced an encounter. Who said that?
Okay.
37% of all social benefits are being received by a community, which is only 18%.
Mr. Sharad, we are just demanding.
I want to bring in Arvind Ojha. I want to bring in Arvind Ojha. Arvind, पुलिस अब इस बात को की जांच कर रही है कि क्या एक बड़ी कॉन्स्पिरेसी थी, एक ज्यादा बड़ी साजिश थी, न केवल बरेली को, पहले कानपुर फिर बरेली और देश के दूसरे हिस्सों को जलाने की, लेकिन क्या कोई सूत्र हैं जो इन सभी हिंसा की घटनाओं को एक सूत्र में पिरोते हैं, जोड़ते हैं?
देखिए, अभी तो इस पूरे मामले की इन्वेस्टिगेशन चल रही है, लेकिन पैटर्न अगर आप देखें तो बीते कुछ सालों में जो एक मामूली बात को लेकर प्रोटेस्ट शुरू होता है, उसके बाद वायलेंस धीरे धीरे करके बढ़ती है। पर्टिकुलरली अगर बरेली की बात करें तो बरेली पुलिस के पास इस तरह के इनफ एविडेंस हैं कि ये जो वायलेंस है, ये जो इंस्टिगेट करने की कोशिश की जा रही थी, हिंसा फैलाने की पहले से प्लानिंग थी, और एफआईआर की कॉपी में इस बात का एविडेंस भी है। मिस्टर जैन ने जो पॉइंट आउट किया, मैं उसको करना चाहूँगा। आज जो इनकाउंटर के बाद इद्रीश और इकबाल नाम के दो बदमाशों को पकड़ा है बरेली पुलिस ने हाफ इनकाउंटर के बाद। इकबाल पर 17 के आसपास मुकदमे हैं, 20 इद्रीश के ऊपर 20 से ज़्यादा मुकदमे हैं चोरी डकैती गैंगस्टर एक्ट के। उन दोनों ने खुलासा किया है कि वो शाहजहांपुर के रहने वाले हैं, बरेली के रहने वाले नहीं है। शाहजहांपुर उनको 26 सितंबर को बुलाया था नदीम नाम के शख्स ने। नदीम वही मास्टरमाइंड जिसकी स्क्रीन पर हम तस्वीरें दिखा रहे हैं। तो नदीम ने शाहजहांपुर से 2 अपराधियों को क्यों बुलाया प्रोटेस्ट में शामिल होने के लिए? अगर वो एक रिलीजियस प्रोटेस्ट था, अपनी भावनाओं को जाहिर करने का और शांतिपूर्वक तरीके से, तो उसमें अपराधी क्या करने आए थे, हथियारों के साथ क्या करने आए थे? तो एक तरफ नदीम, एक तरफ अगर आपको बताऊं इस प्रोटेस्ट के बारे में, लगातार जब इस तरह का कोई प्रोटेस्ट होता है, जो स्टेक होल्डर है उनसे पुलिस बात करने की कोशिश करती है। अगर कोई इंटेल मिलता है कि अगर शहर का माहौल खराब हो सकता है इसको लेकर, तौकीर रजा से पुलिस ने कई बार बातचीत की, उनको ये बताया गया कि शहर का माहौल खराब हो सकता है, आप ऐसा मत कीजिए। उनसे बातचीत की गई, परमिशन भी नहीं दी गई। उसके बाद एक अपील का लेटर वायरल होता है जिससे बहुत हद तक शांति हो सकती थी बरेली में, लेकिन उस अपील को, शांति बनाए रखने की अपील को भी इस ग्रुप में डाला गया जिसमें
नहीं, आप बड़ी बात कह रहे हैं, आप ये बड़ी बात कह रहे हैं। और खासतौर पर ये मिस्टर जैन, व्हाट वर 2 criminals and gangsters accused gangsters doing in a religious rally? Now, what is your reading of Haryana Minister Anil Vitt seeing this as part of a toolkit, and Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis saying there should be a probe whether there's a wider conspiracy that should be investigated? What is your reading of this very sensitive issue?
Yes, it is a wider conspiracy. It is taking place only in BJP-ruled states. Bareilly incident happened 20-25 days back. What was the need to rake up this issue in Bareilly on 26 September? At Unnao, few children, small children and ladies, they took out a procession along with few people, and they raised slogans, Pakistan Zindabad, Sar tan se juda, tan sar se juda. What is the need for such slogans? When SHO tried to stop them, they misbehaved with SHO, and then arrest had to be made under Criminal Law Amendment Act. So this is no solution. Why are you creating problems when Durga Puja is going on, when festivals are going on? Don't you know that? Don't you know that so much of trouble?
Yep. Faizan, you know, a hostile country raising slogans in that favor. Also, the Sartan se Juda bringing alleged criminals into a religious rally. Does this point to a wider conspiracy in your view?
See, if somebody has raised any slogans of Sar Tan Se Juda or pro-Pakistan slogans, that person should be booked, and there are no two ways about that. But it should also be remembered, Gaurav, that it's the right-wingers who are running the narrative. and on the basis of what they feel, the police is acting. If you see in Ghaziabad, there was a man who had put the poster of Ayla Muhammad outside his house. There shouldn't have been any objection. The Bajrang Dal leaders registered a complaint and that guy was arrested. These Bajrang Dal leaders further said that Muslim vendors should be removed from Navratri.
No, but in this case, sir, I'm talking about very particular cases. You are deflecting from all the cases that I am raising on this broadcast, sir. You know, I'm raising very specific instances of an attempt to burn our society and our country.
Yes, sir.
You are deflecting that some right-wingers are doing this and right-wingers are doing that. What about what criminals are doing?
Let me complete, sir. You keep interjecting me in between.
Because you deflect.
You
deflect from the topic that I'm discussing on the show.
No action is taken against them, sir.
Courts of law.
No action is taken against them, sir.
Courts of law.
Yatinand Narsinganand.
Go to courts of law. That is what is required, but in this particular case, you know, this is like Amitabh Bachchan in Diwar. Jao pehle uska sign kara ke lao aur jao pehle uska sign kara ke lao. What about the accused in the current case? I mean, this is the Samajwadi Party trying to deflect from the current issue, and I'm going to stay because that's very worrisome, Faizan. That's very worrisome. And Atikur Rahman, this is exactly the kind of fire that will really add to troubles in our country, and something that very hostile country in our neighborhood benefit from. Atikur Rahman, the moment it becomes dekho Hinduon ne wo kiya aur dekho Musalmanon ne kiya, this is exactly what should never happen. Atikur Rahman,
this wider conspiracy theory is a conspiracy itself. As Mr. Jain points out, it is happening only in the BJP ruled states, and not 1-2 years. They are in power since 10 years, more than 10 years. The Chief Minister and the Home Minister of these BJP ruled states should immediately resign. Let's demand the resignation of Bengal Chief Minister.
But is this happening only in BJP ruled states? Because somewhere down the line, that investigation that investigation, Arvind, is इस समय ये जो जांच हो रही है, ये जो पूरी हिंसा है, क्या केवल एक पार्टी के राज्य के राज्यों में हो रही है, या फिर और राज्यों में भी ये आग को भड़काने की और फैलाने की साजिशें वहां से भी पर्दाफाश हुआ है उनका?
देखिए, एक बड़ी कॉन्स्पिरेसी की तरफ तो बिल्कुल ये इशारा करता है, क्योंकि अगर इस तरह से बिना इजाज़त भीड़ इकट्ठा होगी और बड़े पैमाने पर इकट्ठा होगी, तो जाहिर सी बात है पुलिस उसको रोकने की कोशिश करेगी। और ऐसे में जब एक फेस्टिव सीजन चल रहा है तभी, और वैसे भी जो लोकल इंटेलिजेंस यूनिट है वो जो स्टेट पुलिस है या डिस्ट्रिक्ट पुलिस है उसको इन्फॉर्मेशन देती रहती है कि इतनी बड़ी तादाद में भीड़ इकट्ठा होगी, इस तरह के कैरेक्टर आएंगे, और फिर वो मेन शहर में जो दूसरे रिलीजन के लोग हैं उस एरिया में जाने की कोशिश करेंगे। और जाहिर सी बात है उस एरिया में जाने की कोशिश करेंगे तो फिर दंगे और फसाद होंगे। तो कहीं ना कहीं इसमें कॉन्स्पिरेसी नजर आ रही है। और जो आपने बात कही कि बीजेपी रूल स्टेट, कई स्टेट से इस तरह की जानकारियां आ रही हैं, इस तरह की भड़काने वाली चीजें आ रही हैं, लेकिन बरेली में ये जो हिंसा भड़की जिस बड़े पैमाने पर, अभी तक गनीमत है कि बाकी स्टेट में इस तरह से शांति बनी हुई है। पहले से जो पुलिस है वो उनको इंटीमेट किया जा रहा है, पहले से एक्स्ट्रा फोर्स लगाए जा रहे हैं।
आप इस खबर पर नजर बनाए रखिए, ताजा जानकारी के लिए फिर मैं आपके पास आऊंगा, बिकॉज दिस इज अ सिचुएशन व्हिच हैज टू बी हैंडल्ड विद केयर एट द सेम टाइम. Law of the land has to be supreme. To all my guests, many thanks for joining me. US President Donald Trump has unveiled a sweeping 20-point proposal for peace in Gaza, calling it a comprehensive plan to end conflict after a meeting with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The plan demands that Hamas disarms. Safe passage or amnesty will be offered to all Hamas members. An international stabilization force backed by Jordan and Egypt will take over security as Israeli troops gradually and systematically withdraw from Gaza. The governance of Gaza will shift to a technocrat Palestinian panel overseen by an international board of peace headed by US President Donald Trump, with former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair on board. Aid will flow, hostages would have to be swapped for prisoners, and humanitarian rebuilding will then begin. But that would entail Hamas leaving the Gaza area. Donald Trump has issued an ultimatum to Hamas, giving the organization 3 to 4 days to respond, or Israel will have Washington DC's full support and backing to finish the job. 8 Arab and Islamic nations from Qatar to Saudi Arabia have welcomed the plan. Iran is out. Palestinians accuse Trump of serving Israel's interests. Pakistan, meanwhile, is in the line of fire back home for backing President Trump's proposal. Pakistan's military chief Asim Munir and Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif have been facing scathing criticism online within Pakistan. They've also been branded as sellouts and traitors. Some have called them Trump's cheerleaders who've compromised not just Pakistan's interests but the wider Islamic cause. Pakistanis are now accusing both Asim Munir and Shahbaz Sharif of betraying Palestine and legitimizing Israel. The backlash has forced Pakistan's Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar to get into damage control mode. First, he praised the deal and then claimed key points were never shown to Pakistan and some other Islamic nations, even though people within Pakistan are pointing out that all of it was broadcast live on television, including on Pakistani channels.
How long do you plan to give Hamas to respond to the ceasefire proposal you put out?
Well, we're going to do about 3 or 4 days. We'll see how it is. All of the Arab countries are signed up. The Muslim countries all signed up. Israel's all signed up. We're just waiting for Hamas. And Hamas is either going to be doing it or not. And if it's not, it's going to be a very sad end.
को अगर कोई अच्छा काम है तो उसको आप मेहरबानी करके कंट्रोवर्शियल ना बनाएं. आपके मैसेज अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड जाएंगे. एक तरफ पैलेस्टीनियन अथॉरिटी उसको वेलकम कर रही है और उसको शुक्रिया अदा कर रही है यूएस का और जिन्होंने ये काम किया. दूसरी तरफ हमारे लोग हैं कुछ चंद एक वो अपने उसको नेगेटिव स्पिन देने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. उस सियासत में बड़े और एरियाज हैं. सियासत अब उसमें कर लें, लेकिन इसको खुदा के लिए सियासत की नज़र करना मैं समझता हूँ कि इट इज़ ग्रॉसली अनफेयर.
ट्रम्प की इस वक्त तारीफ करना तो जो है ना वैसे भी एक बहुत ही ख़राब बात है इंटरनेशनली, इसलिए कि जो कुछ फ़लस्तीन में इसराइल कर रहा है वो डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प की मर्ज़ी से कर रहा है. तो अमेरिका की जो ये पूरी मुनाफिकत है और उसमें उसका जो पूरा अमल है और इतनी जाने जा रही हैं, उस पर अगर हमारे यहाँ से बार बार उनकी चापलूसी की जाएगी, खुशामद की जाएगी और उनकी हिमायत में इतनी बात की जाएगी, तो मेरा ख्याल है कि ये अच्छा मैसेज पाकिस्तान का नहीं जाता.
Both Pakistan's military chief Asim Munir and Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif are in the line of fire back home in Pakistan. They are being called as sellout and even traitors to the cause. From the founder of Pakistan, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, to the people of Pakistan, the country's prided itself for being strong defenders of Palestine and Jerusalem being a part of the Palestinian state. But Asim Munir and Shahbaz Sharif are being accused of selling off Palestinian interests to the White House for a few dollars more. To explain the ramifications of these developments, I am now joined by Tilak Deveshar, former Special Secretary at the Cabinet Secretariat and author of multiple books on Pakistan, one of the most respected voices on situation across the border. Sir, welcome. Your reading of Pakistan Army Chief Asim Munir and Shahbaz Sharif being on board the Trump plan on the Palestinian cause and being called sellouts in Pakistan.
You know, Gaurav, I think, first of all, thank you for having me on your show. You know, there are two things. One is being on board, you know, Shahbaz Sharif's statement of supporting a two-state proposal, and then President Trump saying that they were with us from the beginning. Now, you know, this is the message that is gone to the people of Pakistan, is that these guys were conspiring to change Pakistan's position for God knows how long. That what else have they sold out the country for? You know, to say that they've been with us from the beginning is the really bad thing. Supporting the two-state proposal is one thing, but to be there with the US from the beginning, I think this is going to hurt them a lot. And second, you know, it is people's anger is justified because this is a change in Pakistan's position for the last 70 years, including the position that was laid down by the father of the nation, Muhammad Ali Jinnah.
Okay.
he had stated and he had laid down that you cannot accept, I mean, words to his effect is not a direct quote, that unless and until the Palestinians get justice and a Palestinian state with Jerusalem as the capital, you cannot have a Jewish state. So in effect, he said no two-state solution, and till the Palestinians get justice. And Imran Khan said precisely the same thing when he was Prime Minister.
So Imran Khan is already in jail, and he's been shifted from Adiala jail to some jail closer to Rawalpindi or Islamabad, where he will no longer be in touch even with his party workers or leaders. Those are the kind of reports that are coming from Pakistan. That's point one. Point two, even Imran Khan, when he was being brought on board this two-state solution, wanted Jerusalem to be a part of Palestine, and that's clearly not happening. So can PTI or Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf in Pakistan revolt, rebel, have some kind of an attack on the co-commander house kind of a situation once again, or their backs have already been broken, so they are not a threat anymore to Asim Munir and his ecosystem?
You see, in this case, it is not going to be the PTI alone. It is going to be all the religious parties. For them, Palestine is bread and butter. So whether it's a Fazlur Rahman's JUI, the Jamaat-e-Islami, the Tehreek-e-Labbaik Pakistan, which has been very effective in agitation, all of them are going to come out, and protest on this. So if they join forces with the PTI gets a boost. You're right that the PTI has been decimated, and with leaders like Ali Amin Gandapur who are in bed with the establishment. But this will give them a fillip. This will give them a cause which, they were sort of stumbling for. And Gaurav, let me also tell you, the Commonwealth Observers Group, which had observed the elections of February 24, had not published their report. For the first time in 70 years, over a year and a half later, they still had not published the report. The report was leaked by an online portal, and it's a devastating report on how the elections were rigged to keep Imran Khan's party out of power, how the results were changed. Now, I think because there was so much of noise, they have just issued the report, I think today or yesterday. Now, that is also going to give them a cause to say that the elections are rigged, this is an illegal government, this is a Form 47 government, all those other things. So I think you can have a whole host of issues which may come together. And if the opposition were to capitalize on it, then I think the Shahbaz Sharif government at least will be in serious trouble. And then, of course, you have problems in POK, you have problems in
Hafiz-e-Quran Asim Munir. So here is a man who prides himself on knowing the Holy Quran by heart, sees himself as this devout Muslim, but he's sacrificed the Palestinian cause, and many even in Pakistan are arguing it's been done for a few dollars more. So he's abandoned his brethren in Palestine, and as far as Kashmir is concerned, after Operation Sindoor, whether he likes it or not, at least he knows there is nothing they can do that won't decimate them even further.
Yes, but for the public, they have to sell some children, they have to sort of convince them, and it'll be very interesting. Ishaq Dar, the Deputy Prime Minister, has already distanced himself from this Trump plan. He says it is not our plan. It is their plan. He is distancing himself, I think, from the position that has been taken by Shahbaz Sharif and Asim Munir. Maybe he hopes that in case there is chaos and confusion, he will come across as the person who opposed the governments. Very interesting. And normally you won't expect Ishaq Dar to say something like that.
True.
That it is not our document. So, Asim Munir, I think, and his extension is also up in 2 months' time.
Correct.
He retires on 28th of November. And Nawaz Sharif is not keen to give him an extension. Can Nawaz Sharif use this development and the fact that our cause on Palestine and on Kashmir is being sold out, so this man is not fit to get an extension?
Oh,
so
that's such an interesting thought. That's such an interesting thought because, I was listening to some Pakistani commentators who said his extension, at least for the next 2 years or 3 years is a done deal, and he's actually seeking an extension first till 2027 and then for a 5-year period beyond 2027. So that might just be a pipe dream for him if this if this news was to explode that he sold out the Palestinian cause, which indeed he does appear to have done for a few dollars more to get American money, whether it's for Baluchistan or to get military hardware from America.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nawaz Sharif is a very uncanny politician. He knows, and he knows what buttons to press and what to do. And he can become a hero. He can become a hero and say that he refuses an extension to Asim Munir should not be given, because if a person who can betray the Palestinian cause, which Muhammad Ali Jinnah had talked about, and betraying the cause of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and he can be able to make sure, and the army will back him up. So I think this is going to next 2 months. Gaurav, mark my words, it's going to be a very interesting time in Pakistan, both for what Shahbaz Sharif has said on Palestine,
yes,
what President Trump has said, that they were with us from the beginning.
Yes.
How long
and
have they been
DGISI
conspiring?
also comes up either for promotion or extension in a couple of months. Who's also their NSA.
Yeah, he retires in October.
He's to retire in unless he's seeking to become chairman, Joint Chiefs of Staff. He's been wrangling, I'm told, to get that position or see if he gets an extension as DGISI, because he's also NSA. So very interesting developments that are taking place in Pakistan, because there would be some who would want both Asim Munir and DGISI out so that they could come in and occupy these places, sir.
Absolutely. And the chairman, Joint Chiefs of Staff, also retires in November. So there's another slot for 4-star, will be opening up at that time.
Unless all these generals within themselves, they promoted themselves despite Operation Sindoor losing so drastically, and yet they promoted themselves, because within the army they know the truth. Within the army, they know that this was one of the worst defeats for Pakistan, and the worst defeat when it comes to the war on terror, the manner in which India hit 11 air bases and 6 radar stations and 9 terror camps, and Pakistan's Punjab province is no longer safe. And yet this man promoted himself to be Field Marshal. Yet, and sir, he's facing trouble in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. There were protests even today. Lives have been lost even today in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. There is trouble in Baluchistan and there is trouble in KPK. So how do you see these developments in Pakistan?
No, I think they're all coming together. You see, before that, there were protests, 60 days protest in Gilgit-Baltistan.
Oh,
The traders, they had blocked containers and things like that. You see, in POK, the issue is that they are not accepting the demands, the fare or whatever, which have been put forward, at least to talk to the people to resolve the issue. So when they started leading a demonstration, these guys mobilized the Muslim League to stage a contrary demonstration. Even though permission had been given to the Awami Action Committee, they also gave permission to the Muslim League. There was a clash. Those Muslim League guys or people in cover of the Muslim League demonstration fired. 2 people were killed among the Awami Action Committee. Now, on which they started this protest. I believe some people have died even today. Now, this is how protests escalate. Because when people have protested for such a long time and you're not talking to them, it's a very sensitive matter. And it's a very sensitive area. So both in GB and in AJK, things are looking not too good for the government. And they are doing what they normally do, is using danda. They have deployed about 1,000 cops from Punjab, sent them over there, and those kind of things, which will not work. You can't keep suppressing a population for very long. At the very least, there could be violence and there could be more casualties.
Sir, could this also lead to trouble with countries like Iran? Imagine Iran being a Shia country, backed Hamas, sinking the Shia-Sunni differences in this war against Israel. And a predominantly Sunni Muslim Pakistan abandons the Hamas for American money or weapons, or for Asim Munir to remain in power and Shahbaz Sharif. What signals does it send out to the wider Islamic world in that region?
No, certainly to Iran. Especially when President Trump says that they were in it from the beginning. That means they were conspiring with the US, and Iran will say, hey, I thought we were brotherly nations. How come you've gone and conspired against the Palestinians and Hamas, and the entire Middle East since the beginning? You were conspiring with them, and now you even want to send your force. So I think the Iranians are going to be looking very askance at Pakistan. The other, the Arab states, I'm not so sure, because if they are going ahead with the Abrahamic Accords, and they would want Pakistan also to be on board, and Pakistan will use their cover to sign on to the Abraham Accords. But again, that is going to be a huge problem in Pakistan. It's going to create a huge problem in Pakistan because for 70 years, if you give one children that we will not recognize a Jewish state, and all of a sudden, without any consultation, without preparing the people, you suddenly swip sides, you are asking for trouble.
And what is your reading? Why would Asim Munir have done it? Because it's there's no point of saying why would Shahbaz Sharif do it. Shahbaz Sharif is seen as boot polish in Pakistan, somebody who lives only to please the army. So he would he have had a role in this decision, or would it purely have been Asim Munir's decision?
No, it will have been purely Asim Munir's decision. And Shahbaz Sharif would be the facade or the face who would announce it. I think what's in it for Asim Munir, his extension right now is just blindsided by his extension. 2 years, 5 years, He thinks that this could play well with his constituency if he gets lots of assistance, money, as well as weapons from the US. And the US will make the deal sweet by giving them a lot of weapons and by giving them a lot of financial aid. And Munir will come back and say, look, this is what I've done for Pakistan. I've got money. We were going bankrupt. We've now the US tap is open. We are getting weaponry. Our airfields are being repaired. Whatever aircraft we lost, the US is going to give us that. So this is a small price to pay. This is what he's going to try and sell. But he doesn't realize that this is a matter of faith. This is a matter of identity in Pakistan. I don't think so that he'll be able to sell this to the people of Pakistan so easily.